Hello BookTube and hello AuthorTube. I wanted to give you another Preptober video. Preptober is the name that NaNoWriMo people give to October because you can prepare in October for the novel that you will write in November. November is National Novel Writing Month, and it's a fairly large word count per day, especially when you consider how busy Novembers tend to be for most people. So the way to ease that burden is to plot and plan what you're going to do in October, hence Preptober. And I've talked about a few elements of Preptober in videos recently, and the one I wanted to mention today reflects my own experience, as a lot of these videos will do. I have a story in mind, an idea in mind for a story for NaNoWriMo, Kendra Victrix, in which a young woman with a piece of personal technology that is very common where she comes from, whether it's a planet or a dimension or a time, but she gets stranded here in the 21st century in 2020, and it's not common here, it's unknown here. And she has hers, but in other words, I was thinking of a meditation on the relationship between a person and an advanced piece of technology. And I mentioned yesterday that I was having a great time figuring out that technology, thinking about it, what it means, what it'll be like, what it will do, what it won't be able to do, how it will react to being in the 21st century. And this morning I was thinking about that, because the nice thing about Preptober is that you don't have to sit down and make yourself do anything. You can daydream about this stuff to your heart's content all day long, anywhere. And this morning, while I was thinking about it, something horrible happened. I had another idea for a story for November. And it's a good one. It's completely different. It's not science fiction, but it's a good one. I could run with it. I could definitely make something of it. And that's what I wanted to mention today, Jerry. It's just a very brief Preptober video about what happens if that happens. You're all a lot more creative than people give you credit. What happens if another idea, not a passing whim, but an idea you think actually has legs, something that you could actually make into a story? What happens if that comes along and tries to intrude on a process that is already well underway, as is the case with Kendra Victrix? And I want to stress the answer to that question this early, the first week of October, is let it happen. Let it happen. Don't be wedded to the first idea. Maybe the second idea is better. Just want to make sure that you differentiate between a passing whim and an idea. An idea will have, when you knock on it, it will have a nice solid sound to it. It will be something that you can flesh out, something that you can append prose to. And the whole point of Preptober is to figure out which of the ideas that occur to you can actually hold 50,000 words of prose. That's not a small amount. Not all ideas can do that. So I have to face that fact today. I have, for the rest of the day, I have put Kendra Victrix on mental hold in order to think about this new idea, this community of scholars, and see if maybe it has more soundness to it when you knock on it than Kendra Victrix does. That's part and parcel of this part of the process. You are winnowing out your ideas, you are testing them, field testing them, working with them, thinking about them, and then around about the 20th of October, you're going to need to start deciding. You're going to have to decide. You're going to have to pick one of those things, because you're going to need 10 days to flesh it out. Maybe we should even think earlier than that, mid-month. But one way or another, since I encountered this problem today, I wanted to make sure that I reported it so that in case you're encountering this problem, you don't feel alone. You're not doing anything wrong if a second idea that strikes you as equally valid starts to intrude on the idea that you already had, that you were already leaning on, that you're already fleshing out. Feel free to flesh out both at the same time. That's entirely possible. You can't write both of them, but at the same time, but you can flesh them both out. And a good idea is a good idea. It'll be just as good for Camp NaNoWriMo next summer as it is now. So, I'm not gonna say too much about my second idea, this community of scholars, until I know a little bit more about it. But I have put Kendra Victrix on hold for today and probably for tomorrow, while I sit and think about this second idea and see if maybe I like it better. And I thought, if that's happening to you, don't consider yourself a failure. And now is the time for you to vet all of these ideas. Because when the time comes, on the 1st of November, at the stroke of midnight, you're going to be in for a long haul with whatever idea you choose. And it's going to have life to it. Otherwise, it will fail in the heartbreak hill of the second week. And you don't want that. That's a bitter, bitter feeling. You don't want that to happen. So If you have multiple ideas, entertain them all. Turn away no one at this stage of the process. And I will keep you informed as to how I decide. So I'm going to wrap this up for now, but I'll be back. Thank you, BookTube.